Welcome to Britain 2025, a land where the quaint charm of warm beer and rainy days has been overshadowed by a new, more controversial stereotype. Forget warm beer and rainy days. The new British stereotype is a government-funded hotel room complete with a sea view and 3 square meals a day. Imagine checking into a luxurious hotel, greeted by the gentle sound of waves crashing against the shore. A room with a view, gourmet meals, and all the amenities you could dream of. All yours for the low price of absolutely nothing. Yes, you heard that right. Not a single penny out of your pocket. That's right, folks, it's the great UK migrant hotel heist, and you, the beleaguered British taxpayer, are footing the bill. Your hard-earned money is being funneled into this grand scheme. Remember those levelling up promises? The grand visions of a fairer, more balanced society? Turns out they weren't talking about you. While you struggle to heat your home and put food on the table, the government is busy splashing out £5.5 million a day on luxury accommodations for migrants. £5.5 million a day. That's £145 per night per person. Imagine what that kind of money could do for struggling families across the country. Fancy a weekend break in Brighton? A seaside escape to recharge your batteries? It's probably cheaper to claim asylum. The irony is hard to miss. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for helping those in need. Compassion and support are the hallmarks of a civilised society. But something's gone very wrong when hard-working Brits are struggling to make ends meet, while those who've hopped on a dinghy are living in the lap of luxury. It's a stark contrast that raises serious questions about priorities and fairness. It's enough to make you choke on your cuppa. The disparity is glaring and the frustration is palpable. How did we get here, and more importantly, how do we fix it? As we navigate these turbulent times, one thing is clear. The Great British Rip-Off is a wake-up call for us all. Let's talk about the RNLI, shall we? The Royal National Lifeboat Institution, a beacon of hope and bravery on the tumultuous seas. Those brave souls who risk their lives to save others at sea. They venture out in the worst conditions, facing the wrath of nature to bring people back to safety. Admirable, right? Well, these days they're better known as the Migrant Taxi Service. A controversial title, but one that reflects a growing sentiment. Ferrying thousands across the English Channel every year, straight into the welcoming arms of a 4-star hotel. These aren't just any hotels, they're often luxurious accommodations that many locals can only dream of staying in. The government calls it a humanitarian crisis. They argue that it's their duty to provide shelter and care for those in need, but it feels more like a free-for-all. The system seems overwhelmed and the resources stretched thin. And the best part? It's only getting worse. The numbers keep rising and the strain on public services is becoming more apparent. The latest figures predict net migration will hit 525,000 by 2028. That's a staggering number, and it raises questions about sustainability. That's a lot of hotel rooms. Imagine the logistics of housing such a large number of people. A lot of free dental work. The NHS is already under pressure. And this adds another layer of complexity. A lot of your hard-earned cash. Taxpayers are footing the bill, and many are questioning the fairness of it all. The government, meanwhile, is busy blaming everyone but themselves. They point fingers at various factors, but the core issues remain unaddressed. Legacy contracts, COVID, the weather. The list of excuses is long, but the solutions are few. Anything to avoid admitting they've lost control of the situation. And the borders. The reality is stark, and the consequences are far-reaching. And let's face it, the country. The challenges are immense, and the solutions seem elusive. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. Remember when the NHS was the envy of the world? Those days are gone, my friend. Gone like a tenner down the back of the sofa. Now, you're lucky if you can even get an appointment with your GP, let alone see a dentist. But hey, at least someone's getting their pearly whites seen to. That's right. While British citizens are forced to choose between heating and eating, migrants are enjoying free dental care, free prescriptions, free legal aid. The list goes on. And don't even get me started on the housing crisis. Families are crammed into overcrowded flats while migrants are given priority for social housing. It's like some kind of twisted social experiment. How much can we squeeze out of the taxpayer before they finally snap? Here's a fun fact for you. The government has managed to overspend on migrant accommodation by a cool £4.6 billion. That's billion, with a B. Where did all that money go? Well, it's certainly not going on schools or hospitals. Or, actually helping British people. No, it's being funneled into the coffers of private companies like Serco, who are raking in millions from this taxpayer-funded bonanza, profiteering from misery. Sounds about right. Meanwhile, the national debt is spiralling out of control. Inflation is through the roof. And the government's response? Crickets. Or if you're lucky, a half-hearted promise to look into it. Remember Brexit? That momentous occasion when the UK decided to part ways with the European Union? It was a time filled with promises of newfound sovereignty and control. That glorious moment when we took back control. The streets were filled with jubilant crowds, waving flags and celebrating what was seen as a new dawn for the nation. Turns out control is overrated. The reality of managing our own affairs has proven to be far more complex and challenging than many had anticipated, especially when it comes to immigration. The promise of reducing the number of migrants has not materialized as expected. Instead, the issue has become even more complicated. Since leaving the EU, the government has signed a string of trade deals that are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. These deals were supposed to open up new opportunities and markets for the UK. These deals, we were told, would unlock untold riches and stem the flow of migrants. Politicians assured us that the future was bright and prosperous. Instead, they've done precisely the opposite. The promised economic benefits have not materialized, and the flow of migrants has not been stemmed. We're giving away more than we're getting back, and the migrants keep on coming. The trade deals have not provided the economic boost that was promised. It's almost as if the people in charge haven't got a clue what they're doing. The confusion and lack of direction are palpable, but hey, at least the politicians are doing well out of it. Second homes in Tuscany, offshore bank accounts. While the rest of us struggle, they seem to be thriving. They're laughing all the way to the bank, while the rest of us are left to foot the bill. The disparity between the promises made and the reality we face is stark and disheartening. Section 6. Political pontification and public outrage. The British public, to their credit, are starting to wake up to this farce. They're tired of being ignored, tired of being taken for granted, tired of seeing their country turned into a giant hotel for the world. Nigel Farage is back, of course, spouting his usual brand of xenophobic rhetoric. Labour, meanwhile, is promising to fix the system without actually explaining how. And the Tories? Well, they're too busy fighting amongst themselves to notice that the country is falling apart around them. The only thing that seems to unite our political overlords is their complete and utter incompetence. They're like a bunch of children playing dress-up in the Houses of Parliament while the country burns around them. Section 7. The incoherent circus of migration policy. Let's talk about the government's migration policy, shall we? Or lack thereof. It's a complete and utter shambles. A dog's breakfast. A pick and mix of contradictory policies that change more often than the British weather. One minute they're promising to reduce immigration to the tens of thousands. The next, they're handing out visas like confetti. It's enough to give you whiplash. The only thing that's clear is that they haven't got a clue what they're doing. The result? Chaos. Migrants are stuck in limbo, unsure of their rights or their future. The system is overwhelmed, and the British taxpayer is left to pick up the tab. Section 8. The gravy train keeps on rolling. Meanwhile, the gravy train keeps on rolling. Private companies are making a killing from the government's incompetence. Politicians are lining their pockets. And the migrants? Well, they're just trying to make a better life for themselves. It's a sorry state of affairs. And it's only going to get worse unless something changes. But what can be done? The government seems hell-bent on ignoring the problem. The opposition is too busy squabbling amongst themselves, and the British public are starting to lose hope. Is this the future we want? A country where the few profit from the misery of the many? A country where our own citizens are treated like second-class citizens? Section 9. Time to flip the script. It's time to flip the script. Time to start putting the needs of the British people first. Time to demand better from our elected officials. We need a government that is accountable, a government that is transparent, a government that actually cares about the people it is supposed to represent. The great UK migrant hotel heist has gone on for too long. It's time to shut it down. It's time to take back control. It's time to put Britain first.